There you are. There you went live.
Hey, Groovy Cats, what's happening? So we're having a little pre-Kumite stream today. I don't know how many people will get in because Suit's having a live stream now, but we'll at least hang out until Tonka starts the Kumite. So welcome back to NumbedSkull. You're on like a week or two ago, and we had a good stream, so we'll kill a little time today. How's it going, dude?
Not too bad. Too bad we got people popping in already.
Yeah, you sound a little sketchy now, like I don't know the right way to say it. It's like fluttery.
Let me try that. How's that?
I don't know if that did it. You might have to hop out and try hopping back in.
Am I? Oh, my roboting?
No, not really roboting. You just sound like you have like a playing card in the spoke of your bike wheel.
All right. Yeah. Let me hop out and hop back in.
Oh, so how's everybody in the chat doing this morning? While we're waiting for NumbedSkull to leave and come back. Hey, Tennessee Marine, thanks for coming in, dude. You actually should get some privileges. Static, yeah, that's the right way to say it, Kia. Static. I don't know. I'm not good with words. Actually, I really am, but just couldn't think of it. So, as always, this is an open stream. I got NumbedSkull on, but if anybody wants in, just let me know, and I'll throw the link down for you guys.
Ooh.
Hey, that sounds better.
Does it? All right.
Yeah. Yeah, that was my fault. We tried starting a few minutes ago, but I made the stream private, so we had to try again.
And here we are. So, what's on today's agenda?
Oh, I don't really have an agenda. Interesting things in the last 24 to 48 hours. I don't know if I forgot if I saw you in the stream yesterday or not, but I was really happy that Charles Manson died. So yes. I had a little celebration for that yesterday.
I think I was, what was I working on yesterday? I was trying to clean up, sort out some of my electronic stuff and get some of the Christmas things laid out for hanging up.
Oh, nice. I don't do a lot of that. I just put out little strand of lights on the front porch, and that's about it. We're not, we don't really celebrate Christmas in my house. We actually, for several years now, as a joke, we've been celebrating Festivus. So we're serious Festivus celebrators.
Oh, Festivus! Explain that to me.
Oh yeah, it's an old Seinfeld thing where George Costanza's dad Frank got rid of Christmas because I guess probably because they're Jewish, but he talks about how he was trying to buy a doll for George, and and there was only one doll left, and he got in a fight with somebody over it, and as he was raining blows down on the other person, he realized there must be a better way, so he decided there'd be a Festivus for the rest of us. So rather than having a Christmas tree and all the associated things, there's just a metal pole. No need for decorations, so there's not all that hassle to have to go through. And then there's a dinner and there's an airing of grievances. So got a lot of problems with you people, so you get all your grievances out. And then there's feats of strength, and George's dad Frank used to make him wrestle him on Festivus. So it's just become a joke. So there's actually people that legitimately celebrate Festivus, and you can buy Festivus poles online now, all because of a Seinfeld episode.
Oh, you were there. Were you in Suit's chat early enough to see the flux capacitor?
No, I was not.
Oh, that was funny. Apparently, Pep Boys or something like that sells a flux capacitor, but it's not available yet. So I did a quick search, and you can get one online for $25 at I forget what the store was, but you can get one that plugs into your cigarette lighter and gives you 2 USB chargers on the side, but it's a flux capacitor.
Oh, I'm gonna have to get one of these.
Yeah, it's always fun to look at weird things and watch people's streams to look for ideas and thoughts.
Yeah, I like the sparkly lights at Christmas time. I'm not so big in the decorations warped, but I do. There's a park near my house that they set up a whole bunch of lights in, and you pay like $10 or $15 a car, and you drive through it, and it's pretty cool. And there's a couple of neighborhoods that really do it up that get a lot of street traffic and stuff. So we do check out the lights just for my tastes. I just don't like setting up all the stuff and taking it all down. My mom made a big deal out of it every year when I was a kid because she loves Christmas. So as a result, I've just kind of, I don't resent Christmas. It just, my wife has the retail curse and she's always got to work throughout the holidays and it's the busiest time of the year for her. So it just, we've kind of come to kind of dislike the Christmas season.
I just bought a house this year. So my last house, we really didn't decorate. Nobody would have seen it. We had a couple of cats outside that we had to give away. And this year, the new house, there's animals, but there's no cats or anything outside. So I have these huge inflatable snow globe and an inflatable Santa Claus. I have tons of Christmas lights that are indoor, outdoor. So I went through yesterday because it was halfway decent in the afternoon. I put like 4 hooks on my house, hooked up some lights up and over, attached it to whatever hooks and clips were already there, used a couple little Christmas tree hooks to hang up what I needed to, and put some lights all the way around the house best I could. My kids came home. They were so happy.
Yeah, if my daughter was younger, we used to get into it a little bit more. Like we used to set up a tree when she was, you know, under 6, 7 years old, but now our place is really small. I don't even have a place to set up a Christmas tree if I wanted to, but I had a fiber optic little tabletop tree we used for a lot of years that my grandmother had got me and my wife when we rented our first little, 400 square foot apartment, but the thing finally died 2 years ago. So now last year we didn't do anything, and I don't think this year we're going to bother with a tree or anything either.
My wife and I had a conversation for a few weeks about whether we were going to bring a real tree in, because since our kids were born, we've tried to put a real tree in the house as they've been growing up, just to give them that real tree. And this year we have a carpet in the living room. Last year we had a hardwood floor. So we're sitting here debating whether we want the needles in the living room. And before my mom passed away, right after my grandma passed away, we put a Christmas tree of my grandmother's in one of the back storage rooms and then screwed the door closed. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, let's pull that out and see what it looks like. It's, I think 4.5 feet tall is what the box says. It still has the original box, and I just threw a few lights on there, and the kids are so happy.
We've done a real tree one year, my wife and I, before we ever had a kid, but she's kind of allergic to pine, so it didn't go so well. So we're like, never again. And I do like the smell of a real tree, and if we could have one, I would probably get a real tree if I had a spot for it. But yeah, but just really, we're just space limited. It's not that I'm really anti putting up something with ornamentation on it. It's just a Festivus pole would work out better for us with the lack of space. It could stand in the corner.
I thinking about, my youngest one is 5, so I'm betting in about 5 to 7 years we probably won't be doing a whole lot for Christmas.
Yeah, we've never had super big Christmases with like tons of presents either. I mean, we always get the kid, some gifts and stuff, but we get her a few small things and usually one nice present, and we just don't go overboard, because for my wife and I, the thing that we detest the most about Christmas is the over commercialization of it, that everything's on sale. It's all about money and driving the retail industry, and we hate Black Friday with a bloody passion, because it's just turned into this circus where people literally kill each other and mace each other and hurt each other over crap they probably can't afford that they're buying in credit in the first place. And it kind of takes away from what the holiday season's supposed to be about, which is supposed to be about spending time with your family.
Yeah, I learned how bad Black Friday was when, I think, my first year with a driver's license. My sister was a few years younger than me, and she insisted she needed this CD from Walmart to practice her chorus with for Christmas break or Thanksgiving break or something like that. I forget what it was. And so it just happened to be Black Friday. I was sent down there, and I thought, okay, I'll get down there early. It was 10 o'clock in the morning. Okay. In the store or into the parking lot took me 45 minutes. To get to the CD took me 5-10 minutes. With the CD in hand, it took me 45 to get cashed out, and then another half an hour to get out of the parking lot. And I decided then Black Friday was the worst day ever. And then I've had to work on it since then, and now I hate it even more.
Yeah, I forget, but I think, what are you, 34?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to think. You made me have to think for a second there. Wait, how old am I?
I'm starting to forget how old I am, but yeah, so I'm just a few years older than you. I've been out on Black Friday one time ever in my life, and it was because my mom and my aunt, we were on vacation visiting, and they all wanted to go out, so I went, and that was back before it was nearly the circus it is now, because I was maybe 15 or so at the time. So yeah, it was even enough for me back then to realize it's not a day that it's worth any kind of discount for me to deal with it. I'm well, I just recently in the last few months found out I was bipolar, and when you're bipolar, a lot of bipolar people are OCD about certain things, and I hate groups of people. So I barely go to sporting events and concerts, even though I love music and sports, because I hate being around that many people, and I hate shopping in the first place. So if you just take big crowds of people and another activity I don't like, shopping, then it's poison for me. I just can't do it.
Yeah, I'm not much for crowds. Like I can deal with it for short periods of time. Then I'm just like, all right, I gotta go. I gotta get out of here. I gotta separate myself. I gotta have room to just like,
It's because people
give me
in
my space.
people individually or in small groups I can tolerate, they're fine, but it seems like once you get crowds of people together, everybody turns into herd animals and they go completely retarded. Like the thing I hate the most is I don't like being able to not walk from, like say if you're at a sporting event, I'm going to go see a hockey game on Saturday. I hate having to go to the bathroom or go to the concession stand when there's a lot of people out in the main common areas, because people have this habit of just stopping right in the damn middle of a walkway and just congregating and talking. So they don't even get like up against the wall or kind of in the middle, but they'll be or off to the side, but they'll always be like right in the middle of the walkway. And that just drives me nuts to the point I want to spit nails. I'm just going to be like, why are you standing here? And it just gets me very angry.
Oh, yeah, I know that feeling. I have long legs and I like to move quickly through crowds and get where I'm going when I go through places. And it's like I get caught in the grocery store. I'll go through the checkout. I'll finally get through all that little slowdown, and I go to run through the store, get out the exit as quick as I can. And then there's this guy in a handicapped chair parked crooked across the front of the registers, and everybody else is standing there and there's nowhere to go. Please move, please. And you're just standing there trying to be as nice and looking patient as you can, knowing that you just want to grab that chair, pull that throttle, and push the guy out of the way nicely, and then go.
Yeah. Totally. Well, my daughter and I went to Six Flags over the weekend, and we were riding a roller coaster, or about to get on one. And this guy, I think he was intrigued by my mustache, but he completely was invading my personal space. He was standing too close to me, and he kept staring at me. So every time I would kind of do the side eye thing and look off to the side, I could see him just staring at me. And when me and my daughter got off the ride, because I was giving her like googly eyes at one point, and she was like, "What was that all about?" I'm like, the guy next to me was really staring me down. She goes, "Yeah, what was with that?" I'm like, "I don't know," but he was like major creeper and standing way too close to me. Made me feel like a police song,
Yeah, I get that a lot though. I was told by my doctor on my last visit that I have anxiety. He's like, "Well, we'll monitor it, and then if it gets worse, let me know." So when I go into a crowd, my first thing is I have to see where everybody is. Where is everybody? What are they doing? Where are they in proportion to me? Are they coming near me? Is what they're doing going to affect me? I'm looking around at everything going on around me. I have to know.
No, I'm the same way. I'm 37, and I just in the last 3-4 months have figured out that I've been suffering from mental illness probably since I was a teenager. Been trying to take care of it on my own, not understanding what it was exactly I was dealing with, and I didn't realize how much anxiety I actually had. I was like, oh, that's why I don't like social situations, because I hate having to talk to people about anything. And I'm the same as you. Like whenever I say go to a restaurant, I've always got to sit. I got to sit where I can be able to scan the whole room and see what's going on. I can't have my back to like the dining room, otherwise it'll drive me nuts because I don't know what's going on behind me.
Yeah, I hate that. I can never, you can't have your back to an open space, because it's that feeling like, okay, well, I've been in situations where you really can't leave your back to an open space. That's dangerous. So when I have an open area behind me, I feel that's kind of dangerous. So when they give me booths in a restaurant, I love that. I sit in the inside of the booth, put my back against the wall, and I can see everything in front of me. There's usually a wall behind me.
Yeah, no, I'm the same way. I just can't stand not knowing what's going on behind me. And even to the point, even like when I'm standing in line at a grocery store or department store, like I'm always turning circles, like looking around where everything is. And I know like certain things are very unlikely to happen, but just because there has been, you know, gunman situations in grocery stores or department stores, like I'm always like, okay, who's a danger and who's a threat here? And I know that sounds really paranoid, but that's really where my head goes. I'm like, I got to make sure that I'm safe and I'm watching out for everyone.
Oh yeah, especially when my kids are with me. You know, when it's me by myself, I'm just looking to move through things as quickly as I can so I don't have to deal with it. When my kids are with me, it's all right, let's go, let's go, let's go. And I'm watching out for, okay, what's going to happen? Where are they? How far away from me are they?
I made somebody really uncomfortable.
With a 5-year-old, you really have to worry about that, though.
Oh yeah, definitely. At least my daughter's a little older now. She just turned 11, so she's a little more self-sufficient. So I don't have to worry about her, you know, staying at my side anymore. But yeah, when they're 5, they're easily distracted and, you know, and easily to be yanked away from you too.
Oh yeah, well, at 11, 11's great. My son's 11, but I want to say it was about 2 years ago. We were in the store for Halloween, and I decided, okay, you guys each get to pick something out. My daughter was 3, my son was 9, and my son decided he was going to look around, and he didn't say anything. And it was only 10 seconds since the last thing I said to him, and he was gone. Went 3 aisles away. Just walked away, said I was looking for something. I was so upset over the whole thing. I was just like, you know what? You're not getting anything today. You didn't stay with me. I'm mad. The only way to take out my aggression is for leaving. You're not getting anything. but, okay, then you'll learn. Never walk away from me again. I was gonna kill someone.
Oh God, I've been so fortunate that I've never lost my kid in a store, but I think it happens to every parent that you have a moment where you lose track of your kid. And the one and only time it ever happened to me, I was working on detailing my car. I used to have a Subaru WRX STI, and I love that car, and I used to tinker on it and detail it and stuff all the time. And we had this like patio area in between my house and my detached garage, and I told my daughters, like, don't leave the patio area here. And she's like, okay. And this is she's about 3 or 4 years old at the point in time, and you can't really see really well from where I was, but like every like few minutes I would peek out there and make sure she was still playing or whatever. Well, one of the times I go peek out, she's not there, and I freaked out. Well, this was at a time when she was toilet training though, and I didn't even think about the fact she might have gone into the house to use the bathroom. So I'm running around the house literally like freaking out, having, you know, the biggest panic attack of my life. Oh my God, where'd she go? Where'd she go? And then all of a sudden I go in the house and I start yelling for her, and she goes, what, Dad? And I was like, I thought I told you not to go off of the concrete area. She goes, I didn't. And I'm like, you know what? She didn't. That's right. The back door is connected to the concrete area, so she technically didn't disobey me.
I don't know how many times I did that this summer. I had my nephews over here and my son and daughter, and my nephews are my son's age, and my daughter is just, you know, she's headstrong, bold, no care in the world. I'm outside working on things, and I got 3 boys out there working, and all of a sudden the girl disappears. And I'm running around the garage, and I'm running around the house, and I'm running through the house and upstairs and downstairs, and it's like, Happy, where are you? Dad, I was in the bathroom. Oh, I didn't even think about the bathroom.
Right. Hey, Pops, how's it going? You ever lose the grandkids?
Do what? Oh, lose the grandkids? Nah, they're in school.
No.
No. I can lose them when they're 10 feet away from me. I look around. One of them's like 3 feet tall. I'm 6 feet tall. I could look around. She could be right next to me, and I don't see her.
Yeah. No. I never had any problem losing my kids or grandkids, but at Christmas time, my son did kick over a whole stack of, you know, those Santa Claus faces people put on the front door, the plastic ones. You know what I'm talking about? There was a stack of those at like Walmart or Kmart or somewhere where we were at. I don't teach my kids Santa Claus, and it's not for religious reasons. It's just we'd rather them know that mommy and daddy buy them their gifts because they love them, you know? So he's like 3, 4 years old. He sees this stack of Santa Claus. He goes, look, Dad, fat man in a red suit. Boom, and kicks them all over the place.
Oh,
son, don't do that. No, now Dad's got to pick them up. So how's it going, guys?
Not too bad. Just trying to kill some time this morning.
Yeah, so I was hearing. I'm a big humbug. I don't like the holidays.
And
at all.
I don't know about the two of you, but my kids have tomorrow and Thursday and Friday off. So this was the best day to be able to do this.
Oh yes,
I think mine's got off tomorrow.
I'm well aware. It's why I'm taking advantage of today. I'm just sitting here smoking cigarettes, drinking coffee, and chillaxing.
Well,
'Cause
we
it
were going
ends
to do
tomorrow.
this. We were going to do this last week. And it's like, no, we'll do it Thursday. No, we'll do it Friday. No, we'll do it next week. Okay, well, I got to get my video done by Monday. I'm working on this and I'm working on it. I was like, I got to get it finished on Monday. So we'll do it Tuesday because the rest of the week is out of the question.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm not a fan of the holidays, and for much the reasons I heard you guys already go over, the commercialization of it and all that stuff. And I don't do well in crowds either, probably more so than you two don't. I have what's considered a form of agoraphobia, and I actually freeze. I can't go to a mall or anywhere there's a large crowd. I can't do it. I will literally freeze, and you have to drag me out because I can't move. But no, I just look forward till New Year's, till this is all over.
Oh, absolutely. Plus, I can't wait to get through this season because it is also for some odd reason well, not just for some odd reason. It's like the cost of everything seems to go up. The cost of your electricity, the cost of your gas, not to mention the fact you're using more of both to get through. It's please just get through this season, get me to March.
Actually, we're about to have my favorite holiday. I like Thanksgiving the best out of any holiday, really. Thanksgiving and then Halloween. But I like to cook. So for the last, I don't know, 7 years, I think I've cooked 6 out of the 7 years. And I'm cooking again this year. And I got 7 people, including myself and my family, that'll be it this year. So that's pretty awesome.
Well, I'm going to have a good time this Thanksgiving for sure. It's at my youngest daughter's house, so it's not here for a change. And let's see, 8 if you count the one in her belly of my grandkids will be there. And Papaw doesn't have to cook a thing, so I'm going to eat until I'm comatose. Nice. And then wake up and eat some more because I don't have to do a thing this year.
I know you're a football fan, so that's why I've always liked Thanksgiving, because it's 2 of my favorite things. Well, not that football is one of my favorite sports, but I just like sports in general. So I can't see anything better than eating a bunch of food and watching sports on a holiday.
Well, it'll be interesting because, you were on my NFL stream there for a short bit, and I believe you met my son. I think he was there that day. Yeah. I don't remember. He's a huge Lions fan, and of course, they always play on Thanksgiving. So I'll just be there eating as much as I can and giving him a bunch of grief because his Lions are losing, so.
Well, I was going to ask who cooks their Thanksgiving dinner, but I guess you guys just answered that question. I know I cook mine.
Nice.
I cook every day, and you and I have talked before in DMs, NumbedSkull, about that. I cook every day, and I don't mind it. I mean, I'm the one that's here. Somebody's got to make sure that his grandkids get a hot meal,
Absolutely.
So, but can I say I like it? No. And the funny thing is, I actually trained before I got married, I was training to be a chef.
Okay,
working in hotels.
You want to know my training? And this I'm one of those laughable cooks that you look at me and go, how the hell do you make a meal like that? So I will literally, I made a cheese sauce, for instance, the other day. It says use such and such amount of butter and such amount of this and such amount of that. And I just looked at it and went, okay, those are the ingredients. I closed the book. I put it away. I put a bunch of butter in the pan, sat there and waited for it to melt nice and slow. I added a bunch of cream, sat there and waited for that to kind of stir in. Okay, cool. Just started pouring stuff in there, mixing it together. No measurements, no amounts, not even, okay, that looks nice. This smells good. Okay, toss it in there. it came out with an awesome meal. I mean, I've been doing this long enough. All I need to do is see the ingredients to something, and I can probably create it without using the recipe.
You sound like my wife, with the exception of it came out a great meal.
Hey, we have a llama.
I saw that. Hey, how's it going, man?
We have a llama, yes. Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
I was going to say, isn't that how every great meal is made?
I'm assuming in my house that's how they're made. As long as I'm the one doing it.
Well, we're not doing a good job of upholding the patriarchy, are we? We're not making the wives do all the cooking here. We're doing the cooking.
Darkness, I would like to survive. So I don't let my wife anywhere near the stove.
Same.
I kind of don't have anyone to cook for me, so gotta learn to cook yourself.
Absolutely.
Also like to survive, by the way.
I grew up with no dad and a mom around, so she was always cooking. I just give her a hand here and there. It's like, oh, that tastes good. One day you'll have to teach me how to make that. And most of it I kind of did, and I caught the premise of how she cooks, so I can cook some pretty good meals.
I'm completely self-taught, but I just have good intuition for it, so I very rarely have made something that's come out bad or that I don't like.
Well, my mom taught me probably by the time I was 10. I had to be tall enough to see in the pan. That was the rule. You know, you had to be tall enough to see down in the pan. And my mom taught me, and I remember saying, Mom, why do I got to learn this? This is woman's work. She says, boy, you might not always have a woman around to do this for you, so you better learn it. So I had to learn cooking and sewing and knitting and all that stuff. But
my mom was actually not the best cook in my family. My dad was the best cook, and he makes some amazing shit. So I always got my inspiration from him. So like in recent times, I've like just taken his cooking experience and his recipes and be like, okay, well, how can I improve this?
Let's see. I'm a redneck, so of course my mom could cook. I mean, that's just a given. You know, but my dad, he could make a grilled cheese sandwich. That was about it. But I have taken my 10-year-old grandson as I can. I'm trying to teach him how to cook now. So
neither of my parents are very good cooks. My mom can make certain meals good, and so can my dad. But my mom doesn't quote unquote like spicy things, which to her means anything with spices in it, not even if they're hot spices. So, like, I grew up eating a lot of really bland food, and it wasn't until I became an adult and started cooking things on my own. Like, I thought I didn't like pork chops. No, I just don't like that my way my mom cooks pork chops because she doesn't season them and she cooks the piss out of them until they're like, you know, a piece of shit.
Oh god, she makes them dry, doesn't she?
Yeah, disgusting. So I thought I hated them, but then I was eating at my aunt's house one time, and her boyfriend was a good cook, and he was like, "Oh, I'm making pork chops." I'm like, "I don't know if I like them," and my aunt's like, "Trust me, try his pork chops first." And I did. And I'm like, oh wow, what is this? It's tender and succulent.
Do you want to know the best trick for cooking any meat? And I've said this before, and I'll say it again, and some people in here know this rule. The best trick for cooking any meat is only cook it on each side once.
Exactly.
If you put it to cook on the first side a second time, that meat is just going to go dry as shit. Sit there and watch it. When it hits that just the right amount of color halfway through the meat, you figure out how long that took, you flip it, and you take a minute or so off of that time, and you cook it for that long, and it'll be perfect.
Can't argue with that. That works for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but your mom sounds like my wife. I mean, she thinks those flaming hot Cheetos are, you know, she eats one of those, she's running around drinking milk and eating bread, and, oh, I'm on fire.
It's not even like that. I mean, you could put like a little bit too much oregano in something and she'll be bitching it's spicy. It's like, Mom, that's not spicy. Well, it tastes like all like spice. I'm like,
now,
well, that's called flavor, Mom. It's like you got to add flavor to the things that you're cooking.
Now, I like flavor and I like spice, but my ex-son-in-law, who's black, would, before my daughter and him got divorced, he would come over and cook once in a while. And I never said anything, but the boy used so much spice you couldn't taste the meat underneath. Now, I don't mind spice, but I want to be able to taste the meat too.
No, there is such thing as too much, but for my mom, like anything more than like the littlest pinch, she would bitch it's too spicy.
Your mom would not like me then. I am the kind of guy who likes putting habanero spices in shit, just because it adds really good flavor. She would not like me. Yeah, I had a visitor who was like, he saw me pull out the habanero, and he was like, "What the fuck? You can't put that in the food." I'm like, "Sure, I can." So I put it in
Watch
food,
me.
I mix it in properly, and I serve it to him, and he's like, "This is actually really delicious."
Yeah, my wife will not question what I put in the food anymore. And when she asks, I'm supposed to tell her, don't worry about it. And, you know, it's a little argument, but if I tell her, then there's more questions. If I don't tell her, then she'll eat everything.
Having a couple cooks here, what is your favorite ways of making grilled cheese sandwiches?
Oh, with a slice of bacon in there. I got these little round bacon strips. They fit perfectly in a sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
I also don't use nasty American cheese either. I got to get some nice sharp cheddar. And then I get good bread too, not just normal white bread. And then I've got a specific pan that I use for it because I've got one of those like electric griddles, and you can set a temperature to it just perfect. So they come out just awesome every single time doing it that way. And I like you, but I put a little bit of bacon on it too. I don't just do them straight up.
Yeah, I agree with both of you, except I don't care too much for white bread. I like wheat bread, so.
Oh, it doesn't matter what kind of bread you put on there, as long as you grill it just right.
Yeah, you know, just
because I'm planning on starting up a little cafe, like a gaming cafe thing, and I'm trying to like find the best possible combination for grilled cheese to serve up there, so people can buy that while we're there.
Well, I've also done grilled cheese with light tuna. Like drain the tuna out and then don't add anything to it. Just thin it out as thin as you can, and then put a little bit of that on with cheese on both sides. My kids seem to like that.
I haven't tried that, but I will.
It's almost like a tuna melt, but don't put much else on there. That's really good when you use the sharp cheese. Granted, I have kids and I go through a lot of cheese, so I keep American and sharp and mozzarella. I mean, I go through a lot of different cheese.
We only have mozzarella pretty much in Norway. Everything else is super expensive.
Really?
Like mozzarella is our standard cheese, and if you want anything else, it's like fucking import cheese and shit.
No. So you don't have to deal with American cheese too much. I really detest American cheese because it's just like, it's fake. It's just like a bunch of oil and plastic package.
No, we technically have something like that, but it's more like cheap product thing.
Okay.
It's not like it's a standard.
Can I say this as a person who used to work in the grocery industry? What you're talking about, Beware, is you're talking about cheese product.
Exactly.
You're not talking about American. Okay, so there's American cheese and there's American cheese product. Okay? And American cheese, if it's real cheese, isn't that bad. But American cheese product tastes like watered down cheese. And it's not made from real cheese. It's not made from real cheese.
In Norway, you're not allowed to label it cheese unless it has a certain cheese consistency, like a certain amount of cheese in it. So you can't.
That's why it's now called a cheese product, because it has the lowest certain threshold of dairy.
It's labeled cheese, so it has over, I believe it's over like 70% or something cheese in it.
Yeah, it's the dairy. I believe it's measured by the dairy content, the actual dairy content. Because cheese product is not made with actual dairy; it's made with this like powdered whatnot.
Except if it's Kraft, they claim that there's two cups of milk in each package or some bull crap, but it still tastes like butt, so I don't eat it. Any general rule of thumb for me is if it's individually wrapped in plastic, if each slice is individually wrapped in plastic, it's not fit for human consumption.
No, I buy real American cheese, but I buy a big block of sliced cheese.
It depends, kind of like. They're useful for different things. But I'm speaking from like a Norwegian standpoint. We have completely different cheeses from you guys, so.
Probably better in some way, I would imagine, but that's probably why it's so expensive.
I can handle the singles cheese as long as it's not Velveeta. I have a particular hate for Velveeta cheese.
The only way I like Velveeta is if it's used in making like a mac and cheese, but then I gotta cut it down with like some actual cheddar cheese.
Yeah, it's just way too salty.
Fake mac
We
and
have
cheese makes me sick.
we have like the individually wrapped, like plastic wrapped cheese here, and it's mostly used only for burgers because the cheese is like really perfectly made for the burgers. Like it melts properly, it has the proper taste for a burger and all that stuff. So it's mostly used for that. But yeah, I can understand how like the fucking cheese product shit from America is not good.
No, that's why I won't buy cheese product. I gotta buy real cheese.
Yeah, I also spent a lot of my life living in Wisconsin, so Wisconsin cheese is fairly inexpensive because you're nearer to the source. So I haven't had to eat a lot of the individually wrapped sliced cheese because it's not that much more for good cheese.
Yeah.
Which is funny because I live in the Northeast and I get a lot of Vermont and extra sharp New York, and I get a little Wisconsin cheese once in a while, but you got to buy that in the specialty case in the Northeast.
I would imagine Vermont cheese is good though. We get some of that
delicious.
Here. Yeah, we get some here. Like pretty much Vermont, Wisconsin, and oddly enough, California, because California is now the #1 dairy producing state, is where most of the cheese comes from in America.
My personal favorite is Colby. Got a couple of blocks in my refrigerator right now.
Oh, my wife would love you. She will only eat Colby unless I don't tell her.
I like almost all the cheeses, really. I'm not too cheese preferential. It's just
so
good.
When I was a bachelor in my own place years and years ago, I used to keep this really large mixing dish that had its own plastic cover. It was a plastic dish, and inside I would keep different types of cheeses. So every time I went to the store and found a cheese I hadn't tried, I'd have to buy it. I'd come home and I'd eat some of it. So I'd constantly have crackers or something in the house to go with it. But I'd sit there and eat cheese all of the time. Every different flavor.
What's your opinions on mold cheese, like cheese with molds in it?
I have to be very careful because I'm allergic to certain molds that contain penicillin. So I've always tried to steer away from them. But I do like blue cheese. Other than that, I've really stuck away from cheese with molds. I'm very fond of smoked Goudas.
Mm-hmm.
There's a new cheese that Land O'Lakes makes. It's a 4-cheese Italian. It's hard to find. Dietz and Watson makes a peppered cheddar or something like that.
Yeah, the mold cheeses are usually a little too strong just to eat on their own. But like for example, blue cheese, I don't like to eat it on its own. But the grocery store by my house, they make these prepackaged salads, and they make one. They call it a cranberry walnut salad, but it's got little bits of cranberry and walnuts and blue cheese on it, and that is really tasty with some balsamic vinaigrette on it.
Yeah, we have a burger shop here in Norway. I'm not sure if it's my town or if it's just in some other towns, but they serve usually serve burgers with blue cheese on them, and it's actually really delicious.
Yeah,
sounds good.
That does sound good. I just can't eat it, I just can't eat it plain. Like the non-mold cheeses, I could just, eat slices of it or chunks of it and I'd be happy. But the mold cheeses, though, to me are just a little too pungent to enjoy on their own.
Yeah, they're good with salad. Absolutely delicious.
Or on burgers or something, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Mix them in with some mayonnaise and ketchup and make your own homemade cheesy French sauce.
Ooh, that's not a bad idea.
Oh, I could give you hundreds of recipes. I've made my own homemade tartar sauce, which is so much better than store-bought.
I do that too.
Store-bought.
So has anyone here actually tried? Has anyone here tried brown cheese?
Brown cheese.
Never heard of it, actually.
No?
Don't think I've seen it.
I think I've had some dark tan cheeses. But that...
It's a Norwegian thing, well, probably Scandinavian thing. But it's like a deluxe product over in America. So you can find it at like a foreign store. If you have those import shit, you can probably find it there.
Well, the local stores where I am have vendors that bring in a lot of import stuff. So just going to the stores I go to locally, I can get so many things.
Yeah.
I would probably like it because I'm a cheese lover. I just love all kinds of cheese. I even like goat cheese For heaven's
It
sake.
actually is very different. It's a goat cheese that has very much of a caramel taste to it. So it works really well in like brown sauce if you make that. But it gives a very good flavor.
When you say brown sauce, do you mean like a cheese sauce, or do you mean like a gravy sauce?
Like a gravy sauce, yeah.
Okay, I can see how that would. I see how that would be good.
I bet they got some of that brown cheese somewhere in Wisconsin, because Wisconsin was settled by Dutch and German. So I would imagine with the Dutch influence, there'd probably be some.
Probably. I mean, that's what Wisconsin is known for, is cheese.
Yeah. Cheese bratwurst and beer.
So do you know how to make a cheese sauce, like almost an Alfredo cheese sauce?
No, I haven't tinkered with that.
Okay, I will give you the easiest recipe. This is I've been using it for a few different things now that I kind of got it down. It's a little bit of butter. I think it says 2 or 3 tablespoons to start, but you can kind of use whatever you want depending on how much cream you're going to use. And you want to use like whole whipping cream. Pour once the butter's melted, pour whipping cream in, get it all stirred together, and then pick some cheeses. I put 3 or 4 different cheeses in mine. And then you just let the cheese melt down and keep stirring it over a low heat. Don't turn it up because you know cheese will burn. When it starts getting a little thick, say it again.
Oh yes.
When it starts getting a little thick, you can literally pour it over pasta, pour it over rice, you can pour it over a meal. The thicker you want it, the more cheese, less cream. It's all it is.
I do
Butter,
think,
cream, and cheese.
What spices do you use for it? Because there are a couple of spices that would fit really well with that.
I use basically Italian seasoning, sometimes a little oregano. I usually look for that little bit of green kick to it that gives it flavor when you add it to something. Plus, I keep a garlic clove in here, and I shredded some down finely and added that in there.
Yeah, because I do the same thing. What I do is I take the cream before I start making it. I take the cream and like a portion of it, like half pretty much, and boil that a little bit with some chopped onions to give it that onion flavor. Then I take out the onions, like sift out the onions. Then use that cream for in addition to the unioned cream. While I make the cheese sauce.
I have different size graters, like a cheese grater style graters. I have different sizes, so you can grate things differently. I can literally take garlic clove or an onion and just run it across the grater for a while and get like a little mincing and just mix that in. Then you don't have to sift it out.
No, I'm talking about onion, not
you can
garlic.
do it with you can do it with onion too. Just use a cheese grater, or if you have one that's finer for cooking, use that. Take a grater and cut the onion in half and run it right across that grater and just let the fine choppings fall in, and then you don't have to sift them out.
That always works, yeah.
Leave it in there. Oh, it's so much better when you leave fresh vegetables in there.
And then, of course, add in some garlic and shit.
Yeah.
Then add in a little bit of green Italian spicing, and you got a perfect sauce. Put it on pasta.
I think you've helped me figure out what to have for dinner now. Usually, I've been on a food rut. I've been on a food rut lately, and I'm gonna experiment with some cheese sauce tonight. I'm gonna make some. I always call it killer mac and cheese because I don't like the box stuff, obviously.
Oh, horrible.
So I like to make it and then bake it in the oven and put some crushed cornflakes or breadcrumbs or something on top of it, and that's good stuff.
You want to know what I do? I try to use 2 or 3 different types of sharp cheddar cheese, and you mix layers of the boiled noodles with the cheddar cheese. But I also usually buy either diced or cubed ham or a couple of slabs that I can cube or dice up, and I'll mix that in there and save enough to put on top, and use some smoked paprika, and then put some like taco seasoning or pizza seasoning on the top of the mac and cheese before you bake it, and then pour a little bit of milk in the bottom. That'll cream up the bottom of the mac and cheese so it'll melt down nice.
Good deal. I know what I'm doing.
Well, see, my specialty is, we don't have a lot of money, and I cook for an army. I have 4 young children and 3 adults living here, so my specialty is going into the cabinets and finding whatever there is and somehow making a meal out of it.
I'm good at that too. I call it audibling a dinner. It's like, well, this is what we're walking up to the line here. What do we got? I don't know, but hike, we're going with it.
Cupboards are looking pretty bare. What do we got?
Do you like hamburger, Bloodewing?
Do I like what?
Hamburger.
Oh yeah, we eat a lot of hamburger.
All right, here's a fun one for you if you just want to make a quick dinner. Take a large, either like a square or a rectangle large pan, like a, what is it, a 9x13?
Mm-hmm.
Or a 9x9 or whatever they are. Pour some frozen vegetables in the bottom. Cook up some ground hamburger, like you're making tacos almost.
Uh-huh.
All right, drain it out, pour the hamburger over the vegetables, make some cornbread, pour it over the top, and bake it.
Ooh.
That sounds good.
A little bit of shredded cheese will add flavor to it, but you really don't even have to. Just like that, by the time it comes out, it's just delicious.
Yeah. My bunch are pretty easy to please, though. The other day, cupboard was looking pretty thin. It was day before payday. We haven't been to the store yet, you know. And so I ended up making just mac and cheese with tuna in it. And of course, I put a little bit of seasoning, whatever I could find in the cabinet. And my grandkids now are, what are we having for supper night? You making tuna and mac and cheese? They loved it. I'm like, okay.
I run out of ideas sometimes. I mean, I have tons and tons of meals. It's just like I get bored with them. Everybody's like, I want this. It's like, I want something new.
Yeah, right.
I made chili on Sunday, and I got a lot of flack on Twitter for making it because I have sweet corns in my chili. Is that something that's really weird for you guys, or
no? Corn in the chili.
It depends on the region. Here in the States, regionally, chili is different.
Yeah, you know, some people put noodles in the chili, and I'm not a noodle in the chili guy. That's chili mac to me. That's not chili.
I like elbow macaroni in mine. Some other regions will put spaghetti in it. Some are like you said, don't put any kind of pasta in it at all. It just depends on where you're at in the States on what they consider chili.
Yeah, because it was chili con carne.
Tons of meat, tons of beans, tons of veggies. That's it.
Yep.
Some sauce.
Yeah.
That's how I roll.
And a lot of seasoning.
Yeah, I got a lot of flack for it. I was like, what the is this not a normal thing?
Oh, I made it with
corn. Whatever you want in chili, as long as it tastes good.
Yeah, I've ate it with corn in it
amazing.
Before.
I love corn.
Corn's can be start over chili in the States. It's really hotly contested.
I'm going to have to try corn. Why not?
Oh, corn's great in the chili.
Yeah, I've ate it. And I love chili because it's one of those foods that are better the second day.
Yes.
After it's, been put away in the fridge or whatever, and then the next day you get it out and heat it up, and
I'm one of those. I always make
cook it with a slow cooker, or do you guys cook it with like a pot and shit?
I've done both.
Yeah, me too.
Because I use a slow cooker and then cook it all of the day because why not?
Oh, you've got to cook it all day, or you don't get that flavor.
Exactly.
Yeah, I've done both. It just depends on the situation and how much time I have.
I've cheated and used the cans if I really have to, and just added extra spice. Then I won't cook it all day. But I mean, being an at-home dad, I don't do that anymore. It's like I want chili. I might as well have all the cans out the night before, because as soon as I wake up, I'm starting that shit.
Yeah.
You got to figure, though, I'm a heck of a lot older than you are. I'm crippled. I can't walk without a cane. And I'm chasing 4 grandkids, 10 and under, around the house all day. I don't feel like standing in front of the stove very long. So, yeah, if I can make it easier, I will.
Oh, absolutely. I don't blame you. When I get there, I'll get there.
But even slow cooking the chili ain't that bad, though. I mean, you're not having to go tend to it that much other than just give it a stir once in a while.
Right.
Oh, no, if you're using a slow cooker, you don't have to stir it at all.
Oh, I just mean like taking your time with the chili as opposed to, making it quick or whatever. So that way you get all the good stuff.
Well, that's what I meant was the slow cooker as opposed to the pan, because you got to stand. If you make it in a pot, you got to stand over it.
It's true.
or you gotta burn it.
With a slow cooker, you just put everything in there after it's, you fry up the meat and shit, and you just let it sit there for 6 hours and you're good.
True. We use we cook a lot of things in the slow cooker. It's just, a lot of things are just better cooking them slow anyway. Like I watch people doing grilling sometimes, and they'll make like a roast on the grill or something. It's like, man, if you're gonna make a pork roast on the grill and have it turn out good, you can't try to cook that like in an hour or two. You got to give that thing maybe a good 4 or 6 hours. Give it some time.
Yeah.
It tastes a lot better.
Yeah, I've got a pot roast in my freezer right now. I gotta get made.
I'm one of those that I believe it is better to cook something at like 250 for 15 hours than it is to cook it at 450 for 2 hours. And the flavor, like check on it once an hour. Just go in, check on it, make sure it's not dry or burning. Put lots of stuff in there to go with it, and just let the meal sit there and cook the whole day away. Never get.
So have you guys ever tried like the food delivery boxes, like the Blue Apron and stuff?
No, I haven't tried those.
No.
I'd rather
I had
my
one for a
own
while.
fresh veggies.
Yeah, I had one for a while, and they actually give a lot of good stuff. Like they send with them a little like recipe book for everything you're supposed to make, and it's very varied. At least the one I have, it's actually really cool.
I see the kumite is going. Do we want to move over to the kumite, or do we want to keep talking about food for a while?
Oh, we can talk about food. I was just checking to see if they were past the opening credits.
Oh, are they yet? I don't have the volume on, so I just see that they're going.
What's kumite?
Oh, on Tonka Sauce.
No, we're still on music.
Have you checked him out before?
I have no idea what that is.
Oh, yeah, Tonka Saw, he was a dude that was, I guess he was a wrestler for a while, but he does a stream that he calls the Morning Kumite, and usually it's like a face-off between a couple of people. I'm going to put the link in the chat, but...
Oh, I'm one step ahead of you. Hold on. There it is.
Tonka's an awesome dude. High win.
All right, let me remute this, or at least turn it back down. If I start glitching, tell me. I got a lot of stuff.
So, I have to head up to work in about 30 minutes anyway, so I wouldn't have time for it to go.
Oh, okay. Well, you should check it out sometime, though. Tonka's a cool dude. That's why we call this the pre-Kumite stream, because he tries to do his at least 10 a.m. my time every day. So me and NumbedSkull, when we set this up, we're like, okay, we'll do it for like an hour before the Kumite.
We're close enough.
Yeah, I mean,
food's even still going from what I can see.
Yeah, I saw that. My goodness.
I've got so much stuff running right now. Let me move the Kumite to another device so that it's not pulling on this.
For the longest time, Suit would say, I don't like streams. I don't like them. I don't like them. I don't like them. And now he's like, every other day.
I think it just took him a while to get used to it, because, I mean, you could control what you say a little more when you're doing videos. And at first I was a little tentative about streams too, but then when I started doing streams with Failure Accomplished, and all of a sudden I'm just like, all right, you just got to let your hair down once in a while and just be yourself and not try to control things so much.
Oh, yeah. And I love Suit. I mean, he pretty much got me started with my own channel. So, yeah, I love the dude to death.
Yeah,
so I want to throw this out there. Has anybody seen my video?
No.
Okay, somebody needs to go watch my video. I need views. I need lots and lots of views. That's all I got.
Yeah, I've been sitting here this morning I've got to get some content out. And,
yeah, I haven't done any for a while either. I've been very kind of discouraged in a way, so I just been doing more streams than anything.
I've done some. My last video was on Amos Yee, for Pete's sake, but I'm done with it. My head's about to explode over all that.
Mm-hmm.
And my blood pressure isn't good for that. So
it certainly isn't.
My last video was a comedic way talking about. Whoops, sorry about that.
That's fine. I have a couple of conspiracy shit going on with a guy called Flat Earth Asshole. He seems to be a complete moron. So I'm gonna just take a couple of his videos, making a series, like a 3-part series on him, just to show how dumb he is and have a laugh.
Are there any of those flat earthers that aren't morons? I haven't met one yet.
Some of them actually try. Like, they really, really try. This guy thought it would be cool, though, to sit for 2 hours and call NASA and then yell at them. So,
What? How dare you prove that there's a globe?
He said for 2 hours calling NASA. And when he got contact with anyone, like someone answered, he fucking yelled at her and cursed her out on the phone like a random person.
Good.
I watched one of them make a video on how when George Bush toured NASA, one of the screens was quote unquote accidentally shown to everybody of an astronaut in front of a blue mat with lines across it. And I'm sitting there laughing. And then a couple weeks later, I see this video pop out about how it's a conspiracy and the Earth is really flat, and this is how they prove it. And there's a blue screen back there that they're using to judge the size and shape the Earth has to be when they import it into the CGI effects. And I'm just sitting there breaking up, laughing. It's all I could do. And then Cog, a couple weeks ago, last week or the week before, Cognitive Thought does a video about Flat Earth, and I sat through, or a live stream, and I sat through the whole thing, and I'm just laughing the whole way through the stream because I've already seen the bowl video that he was showing, and that's all I could do is just sit there and laugh.
I haven't done a Flat Earther per se, but a couple of months ago I did do, and trust me, I'm not joking when I say this. It was a nurse who is a flat earther, anti-vaxxer, race realist, AIDS denier.
Oh, wow. Just exactly who I want working in the healthcare industry. Oh, my God.
I am not making that up.
Oh, my God. It's like all the retard rolled into one.
So I was hanging around looking for something to do a video on a few weeks ago, and I couldn't find anything. And somebody sent me a stupid article that linked to something in Russia, so I clicked on that. And then there was another link on there about something else in Russia, so I click on that. And I look for the things I don't see people do or doing it in a different way. People don't usually do it. And so I click on this article, and it's about this girl who's protesting people taking upskirt photos by going into a train station or bus station or something and lifting up her skirt for everybody to see.
Yeah, seen that.
You saw mine or you saw the article?
No, I saw the article.
Oh, I did a video on it. I did a count up to how many times she lifted her skirt the whole video. And I added some effects to it here and there where I could. I mean, I try to do a lot, but some of the effects I do take me time to make, because I try to go in depth and make them look cool.
Oh, trust me.
My first video on the Flat Earth guy had like a what's it called? Ray Charles, the fucking blind piano guy. What's his name?
Ray Charles.
Ray Charles. Yeah,
Mhm.
It had him driving a fucking car over a circular Earth while I was explaining something. And my friend pointed out, like, so why is Ray Charles driving a car? He's blind. I was like, oh shit, didn't think about that.
Yeah, I used to have a blind friend years ago when I was just out of high school, and I would run him around everywhere, and his name was Patrick, and I'd tease him all the time. He had a good sense of humor. I was like, I'd throw him the keys and say, all right, Patrick, it's your turn to drive.
Yep, that's how it works.
But yeah, Numbskull, I know about taking time, dude. That if you'll remember that animated short I did months ago, World War ZJW, that thing took me 2 months to put together.
Oh, jeez.
Well, I come up with these cool ideas, like in my last video was a bad words video, we'll call it. And I must have restarted at a certain point about 3 or 4 times towards the beginning. I kept cutting the rest of what I did off and redoing it because I didn't like the way it was coming out, because I try not to sound biased or anything like that. And I try to put a little bit of comedy into it where I can fit it. So just a couple of seconds of adapting words to fit in there and give them motion. Well, then you got to create the word. You got to import it. You got to put it in there and give it the look and effect you want. And then, okay, move on to the next word. Put that in there. Fix that. Turning my head from left to right. I haven't created myself in a full 3D program to be able to walk through the 3D world yet. I haven't gone back to that. So what I did is I took what I did create in 3D and I brought it over to a video program and I tried to adapt to it. So I'm bouncing around on my technique, trying to find something comfortable, and it makes it so that certain things take me a couple hours to create a few seconds.
Not to change the subject, but Tail just popped into chat at Tail Feature.
Oh, hey, Tailed.
And I just want to point out how it just tickles me that everybody that knows me on the internet calls me Dad or Grandpa. I just love it.
So I have a question to Tailed. What is that name? Hey,
Oh, wait, fucking moo.
Oh. You mean Tailed Featured's name? How did he get it?
No, it's a joke between me and Tailed.
Oh, I got you.
It started,
I was about to explain it.
He's explained it like 20 times to me or something, and we just keep doing it.
The Kumite just went live.
All right. So do we want to finish?
You want to kick over there?
Yeah.
He's talking about good channel. We can kick over there.
I might start doing this more regularly. Do a pre-Kumite because I usually have about an hour and a half to kill before he goes live anyway.
Right. I'm thinking if I can fit it in, maybe we'll talk about tomorrow. But I might have a lot of cooking to do. So just
no worries, man.
I'm going to try and get the pies and some of the other stuff out of the way tomorrow, and then all I got to do is the hot food on Thursday.
My wife
I got 11 people being here. Oh, and my phone's ringing. So, all right.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining me on the stream
hold
for
on
a little
second,
bit here.
buddy.
It's
No problem.
I
Thanks
don't
for
think
having
I'd gotten to stream with you yet, Llama, and my daughter's a big fan of yours now because she likes llamas so much. So.
Oh God.
Yeah, it's on the
She
stream
watches
with
your
both of you.
content. This is your llama head, and she's like, "It's a llama."
So what videos have you shown her then?
I haven't shown her any videos. I've just shown your avatar.
Yeah, I have a couple of videos where I read like bedtime stories and shit. You can show her those.
Oh, okay.
They're pretty mild.
Oh, Walker just came too.
Oh.
All right. Well, we'll go bop over to the Kumite. We'll pester Tonka and have a good day at work, I guess, since you got to work there, Llama buddy.
Yeah.
All right. I will see you all over there.
All right.
Yeah. See you guys later.
Later, world.
Bye, guys.
Bye.